So I'm Sam Kings and welcome to this ArchiCAD tutorial for absolute beginners. So if you've never opened your ArchiCAD before or you're yet to understand the interface of ArchiCAD, this video is absolutely for you. In a few minutes, I'm going to show you how to start a new project, how to set your units, how to draw your first wall, and also how to view it in 3D. So all of this is what you actually need to get started. So let's dive right in. Okay, so remember, if you have not used ArchiCAD before or you are finding it difficult to understand the interface or the use of ArchiCAD, this tutorial is basically for you. So we're just going to get started. So I've opened my ArchiCAD already. Remember, I'm using ArchiCAD 25. But if you are using maybe a lower version, ArchiCAD 20, 18 or thereabouts, or even a higher version, it's still fine. The interface is not different. So let's get started. If you want to open the file, you want to open a new file, you need to press this new. You can see the new here. You need to click it. So let's click on it. We'll give it some time to open. Okay, so now it's open. Look, the template here is this ArchiCAD 25 template. I did not download any of that template, so this is a default template. So when you open your own, whatever ArchiCAD it is, you just leave it here. Then go to the last profile used. So I've designed before with this ArchiCAD. And if I'm opening now, it will still continue using the last profile I used. So just for the sake of this tutorial, I'll set it in default profile, so that any other thing that I'm using will not make it complicated. So make use of the default profile. Then let's click on new. Okay, it's opening up now. Okay, it's open. So now I'm going to explain gradually all the parts, like this left, right, and up. So and also the center. So just be with me as I'll start. So it starts with the left. So now this left, we call it the toolbox. This is where you find your design tools, just like the walls, the doors, the windows, the slabs, and also the roof. So I'm going to increase this now so that you can actually see them. So you see the names. So why I normally reduce it is if I'm using a smaller monitor. Like for example, now I'm just using my laptop. So if I'm designing, anytime designing, I normally use a bigger monitor, and in that bigger monitor, I'll be able to see things clear. So there I can actually increase it anyhow I want, so that I can be able to pick it and even drag others to join. What did I just do? But for the sake of this, I'll reduce this to the smallest. So, but let me just explain this again. So in the left here, you see the wall. So when you want to select the wall, you come to this side, you select the wall. You want to select a column, it's here, a beam, a slab, the roof, shelf, stairs, railing, curtain wall, door, and the rest of them. You just see now. This is for your design when you're designing. Then if you want to check the viewpoints, just like your section, your elevation, your interior, your interior elevation, your detail, your worksheet, and your camera, you see it here. Then when you're documenting, you can also see things like your dimensions, your text, and the rest of them. This is where you find them. Then we'll go to the next place, and the right. Now this right, you can also call it the navigator. Why do you call it navigator? Think of it like your project maps. It helps you to switch between your ground floor to your first story, your second story, even your elevations and sections. So it's there that you can do all your navigating from one point to another here in your right corner. So you can take a look at how it is. And also doing your documenting, when you want to select the particular sheet you need, this is the place you go to select it and set it. Now I'll do a different video explaining that in detail, but for now, this is the basic things you need to know. Okay, so now we'll go to the up. So now this place, I call it the info box. Yes, information box. So let's say you choose the wall is already chosen. Let me change it. Let me choose something else. You see, when I chose this column, this changed. Let me go back and choose the wall again for you to observe it. You see, it's changed. So now this is giving you space for you to be able to edit the wall to your own specification. I'll do a different video too that will explain all of this in detail on how to change and the specific wall that you will need depending on the design you're doing. So now, but for this wall, if you don't want to go through this or you're not seeing it as you want to see, you can now double click it. let's double click it. It will open. You see how it is. But if you still don't want to double click it, as it's already selected, you can press Ctrl T. You see it's selected. Now we'll go to the middle. This center place, we call it the workspace. So here's where your design is happening. Here's where you'll be drawing. Here's where you'll be modeling. Here's where you'll be doing everything. So now you've known these 4 areas. You've known the left, you've known the right, you've known the top, and you've known the center. So we can say you are no longer a beginner. You are now, will I put it in immediate? I don't know, but you're no longer a beginner because you've understood the interface. But let's now know how to make use of the tools, the basic way of making use of the tools. But before we enter the next step, you need to know that once you open, you need to save so that you will not lose your file. So as you've just opened, you need to save when you press Ctrl S. You see Ctrl X. Now this is already in desktop. That means you're saving it to desktop. So you select anywhere you want to save it to. Then you choose your file name. Here's the file name. You select what is the name of this file. Now I'm going to name this my own. This our file. We'll name it. What are we going to name it? I'm thinking of what to name it. Let us say beginners project. Beginners project practice. Right? Yeah, beginners project or beginners practice project. Let us name it beginners practice project. So okay, let's save. So now this is saved to the desktop automatically. So once you start your project, you can be saving the stats. You will not have any issue of losing your files. So go to the next point, which is set your project units. So now when you want to start drawing, depending on where you are, you need to set your project units and know the type of dimensions you're using. You understand? Whether it's centimeter, millimeter, kilometer, or whatever. But the general one that is being used is millimeter. So we're going to set it now to millimeter, and we'll go to our options. When you go to your options, you go to the project preference. Then you now go to your working units. So you see it. So this default is set in millimeter. That's okay for me, but you can actually change anything depending on your design. So later on we can do a normal detailed video on how to select this and what they mean individually. But for now, the basic thing we need is sitting here. So either it's not in millimeter or it's in meters or centimeter or any other thing, you can easily change it. But now what I need is millimeter. That's the dimensions I need. So okay, that's the units that I need. So now here you can zoom in and out and use your mouse. You see the middle, you can scroll in or out. So let's try it in or out. You see it to zoom. So let's zoom in. Remember, I want to select now. I want us to go do our first design, which is a wall. So let's draw our first wall. So first we go to the wall here. It's already selected, but it's already selected. So let's edit it. Remember, I said it's either you edit it from here or you double click it or use Ctrl T. So I want to use Ctrl T. So Ctrl T. It opens. So let's go to first the geometry and the position. So this is it. If you notice, this is the size. If you come here, you see this is the size or the thickness of the wall. See it here. If you click it, it will tell you wall thickness, which is 300. 300 is like a foot. So for me, I don't want my wall thickness to be 300, but let us make it to be smaller. Let us make it to be 300. But if you notice, you cannot edit this. You cannot click it. So if you want to make this to be able to, for you to be able to enter and edit it or click it, you go to here and select the type of wall you need. Structure, basic, composite, complex, profile. It's now we will now be able to edit it. So now we send it set it to 200. Remember, it's millimeter, so everything I'm working with here, the figures are millimeter. It's been set to 300. Now what about the height of the wall? This is where you see it, the height of the wall height. So if you notice, it's still not everyone cannot still edit it like this. Why? Because of where it's been selected on the default setting. So on the default it's 3000, which is a standard. But in case you want to like do something crazy as architecture, you are meant to be creative. you can use this, set it and not link, then edit the wall. But me, I still want my own to be 3000 for the sake of this video, so I'll still leave it at 3000. Now what about the color of the walls? You come here to model, then all of this, you open it, then you select the wall. Remember, let me explain this again. Here is the outside face surface, here is the edge, that means inside. Here is the edge, then here is the inner face. You get? So if you can easily set the color that you want, but me, I want all of them to be same color now, for just for the sake of this video. So I would say this paint titanium white, then I'll come here and click it to now link all of them together. So this is the basic thing you need to do for a wall to be, for you to start using your wall. So let's click OK. But before we click OK, let's just go back to this geometry and positioning, and take note that this is in 0. That means it's starting from the ground, 0 from the ground. You can set it below, maybe if you want to do something like the foundation inside, but just for the sake of this video, I want this wall to just start from 0. In the future, we'll do more detailed videos where you can, how you can do your foundation and the rest of them. So now let's use this one. So okay, remember, I want to do our first wall for you to advance and not be a beginner again, although you are no longer a beginner, but let's just start. So take the wall. So if you notice, it can shake, but when it's shaking, if you look in the middle, there is a line that goes in the middle for you to place it in the middle, for you to place it to be straight, the wall to be straight. So let's place it there. Now, based on your hands can shake, if you want to maintain the length, you can hold shift. So holding shift now, you see it cannot shake, but once I leave shift, you see, you saw that. Okay, you saw that bar. So let's do the wall again. Let me hold shift, I place it in that place and hold shift. So once my hand is shaking, to not do anything. So now this length, let us use 3000 to 3000, which is like 10 feet, which is 10 feet. You enter, you do again. Let us go vertical down. Yeah, on that, another 3000. Enter. Then we'll go this way, another 3000. Enter. Then we link it back to this, which is also 3000. Then click. You have your first row. So if you are practicing with me, just know that you've done your first row. But let's go to the next one by putting the doors and the windows. So let's go and select the door. Here, remember, here is our what? Here is our working tool, our working toolbox. So we'll go and select a door here. So let's click. The other one we use Ctrl T. So now let's double click here. Let's double click. So it's open. So it's already, you see here is the categories of doors. You can see empty door opening, a garage door, a hinge door, a rotating door, sliding folding door, storefront. So when you click inside them, you see different types of doors you can use. I will also make another video that will explain this in detail so that you understand. But for the sake of this video, we'll be using the hinge door. And in this hinge door, here is how to set it. So you can set it the grid. I'll also do a detailed video about all of this. Just for the sake of this video, for it not to be very long, we'll just select this door like that. So, okay. Where do you want to keep the door? Let us come here and place the door. I'll also do a video explaining this placement door. This placement might be wrong, so I'll do a video explaining them. But just, I've placed this door now. Let us edit it to make it lap very well into the wall. So I'll zoom in. Hold shift. Remember, hold your shift, then you click on the door. You come to this dot here, and now drag it to the wall. But remember, as I dragged it, the size of the door increased. So let us Ctrl Z, undo. I want us to drag and not extend. So I'll use Ctrl D and click on these dots. It will now drag it to the wall. So now it's still maintaining the same size, and the size of this door in default is 900 millimeter. If you want to say, if you want to increase or reduce it, you can increase or reduce it and put it in your own preferred size. I will do a video to explain all these shortcuts, like all these controls and the rest of them. so that you can be fast in editing, so of you to waste time. So now let's put the windows. We'll just put 2 windows. So we'll double click. So now it's open. It's in a basic window. There's also different categories of windows, but here it's in basic window. I want us to use this double, so double slash window. Then later we'll do another video explain that one. We'll just click and open. Depending on how you engage on this video, for more videos like this to come up, so that you enjoy and learn very fast. So here we'll place the window. I'm just doing it anyhow so that it'll be fast. Then here we'll place the window. So let me just teach you something. So now if you want to align this wall to this, when you select this, you Ctrl D, which is drag. You now click it. Then you see, you position it here. Then you click. But you drag to move up and align this one. So now they're in the same line. So that one is if you want to do it in your own design. But we've put our doors, we put our window. Let us take a look at this in a 3D form. So if you look here, you see the 3D. You are seeing it bar. So you click on it. So it takes us to the 3D. Now this is our room. Let's zoom in. You know where you used to zoom in. Then now we cannot turn around, because anything you click will scatter your design. What you need to do now is to go down here at the bottom. You see this place. Yeah, here it says orbit. So when you click on orbit, it makes it possible for you to be able to turn it. To turn this, you left click, hold, and you move. You'll be able to move it to your desired direction. But if you don't want to go here and click your orbit, you can, let us remove it. Let us click it again. You can click O. So when you click O, it will automatically be in the orbit mode. So that's it. So now we just have our basic room, and you are already good and ready for the design. So you can actually practice it and practice and practice and practice for you to be able to familiarize yourself with this. Remember, once you finish a design, or if you are done with a design for a particular day, remember to save. So let's save, Ctrl S, and it has saved. So all these things we have been doing now have automatically saved. And if this video was helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also comment telling me what you love to learn in the next video. So that's all we have for today. I remain myself, Sam Kings Architect, and see you in the next.